talk about how Brady's age is showing, and I hope Brady goes and lights him up like a Christmas tree. I hope he has 400 yards and 4 touchdowns and gets his 6th ring. And I just hope it's a Brady Belichick tail whooping. That's what I hope.
Well, the thing that I never understood either is, I mean, obviously the game hasn't been played yet, so we don't know what's going to happen. But it seems like every year someone always wants to call the Patriots for no reason. Yeah, on the other side, you have Bill Belichick when they ask about Aaron Donald, and he's like, "Oh, that guy's unblockable." You know, he always praises his opponents, but not always. But I mean, usually tries to praise the opponents, or at least not talk smack. You know, he's smart with the reporters, but he won't diss other players or anything like that. And then you have Roby wants to call out Brady for no reason, and it's like, I hope Ellerman lands up across you on the slot and torches you or something.
I can appreciate to some degree the confidence as a defender, and it's one thing. You know what? If Aaron Donald wants to show up and if he wants to say something, Ndamukong Suh didn't have a huge year, but he's an established defensive star in this league. If he wants to step up, if he wants to say something, any of these guys, even as much as I hate Peters and Talib, these guys at various points in their careers, Talib especially, have been shut down cornerbacks. This guy's been terrible. He got beat on that play. That's why he had to put his head down and tackle the guy into the sideline without looking at him. That is not the guy that I want to hear speaking up for the Rams defense. This dude's lucky he's even seeing the field. They probably have 4 injuries to their backup defensive backs, and this guy got called up from the practice squad.
This reminds me of, do you remember that? Oh, I want to say it was Anthony or something. A safety for the Steelers in a similar situation. He should not have been on the field either, and he decided to call out Tom Brady. And I think Belichick put in 3 or 4 plays that week in the game plan just to torch him, and they went over his head 3 or 4 times, literally. That's what it reminds me of. Now, he may back it up better than that guy did, but it always seems unwise to give the Patriots bulletin board material. Now, fair warning and full disclosure, I am completely and totally biased for the New England Patriots. And so my dad was a Patriots fan from the 70s. And so with the military, we were moving all over the place. So I've liked them for years and years and years. I've heard enough about being a bandwagon fan. I will say, though, one of the awesome things about going live is Nate Miller. We know that name. Just commented on Facebook. He says, "Boo, go Rams." I think that was a little bit ago.
Nate's bringing out the big guns right now.
You're a Seahawks fan, so why are you cheering for division rival Rams? Technically, I dislike in the NFC, but if the Broncos or Chiefs are playing for anyone in the NFC, I don't think I'd still cheer for the Broncos and Chiefs.
No, the Broncos Seahawks. That was the best Super Bowl that I've seen in my lifetime since the Raiders haven't been to one. Just to see the Broncos get beat, 55-8, and just royally embarrassed.
And I was still cheering for the Seahawks, dealing with all the bandwagon Seahawks fans. I am okay with Nate Miller and the other guys that are from Seattle and that were Seahawks fan, from Washington were Seahawks fans when no one cared about them. But these guys that just jump on the bandwagon that probably didn't even know what college Russell Wilson went to, and then all of a sudden lifelong Seahawks fans talking all this smack when they made the playoffs.
In fairness, there's even a better chance for them to guess if they try it because he went to 2 different ones.
This is true.
It's true. So what are your thoughts on, not to pivot away too much, we'll get back to Super Bowl, but the Pro Bowl? So here's my thoughts on it. I did not watch a second live of the Skills Challenge. I saw maybe 30, 40 seconds of Instagram highlights. And I watched less than 5 total minutes of the actual Pro Bowl. So that probably tells you what I think about it. But what are you guys' thoughts?
I mean, it's like a 5th preseason game, except at the very end of the season, right before the biggest game of the year. I didn't watch any of it. I watched 0 seconds of the actual Pro Bowl. That is how little I care. Why am I gonna watch it? Why even call it the Pro Bowl?
I was on the other side actually because
Okay, Stephen A. Smith.
Huh?
I said, okay, Stephen A. Smith.
No, I know.
Yeah, Pro Bowl. is deplorable. It is inexplicable how they get these professional, athletic, gentlemanly individuals. I don't have the vocabulary. Sorry, go ahead.
No, so I did watch the skills challenge in its entirety, not live, I DVR'd it, YouTube TV. A little plug for my company there. But watched that, and then I did watch most of the second half of the Pro Bowl. I didn't get to see the beginning of West Coast time zone, so missed most of the first half.
We missed the NFC. The best players in the NFC put up 7 points on the AFC.
Yeah. So
tell me they were even trying.
So there are a couple of takeaways. One thing I saw was like the AFC tried at 75%, where the NFC tried at 40%, and it was weird and it was kind of fun. So, like I said, since I did watch it, there were a couple times like Saquon Barkley and Alvin Kamara lined up as like defensive ends, and like Jalen Ramsey played some wide receiver and like caught a touchdown pass. And then so it was kind of fun because it was like very lighthearted, and I would almost rather them. But the thing that was frustrating was because they would blow the whistle before contact sometimes. Like Zeke Elliott would break a run and get 8 yards, and then like a safety's coming downhill on him, and so in a real game there would be a big collision, and so they would blow the whistle almost before contact. So it wasn't even like two-hand touch; it was like the area double play in baseball before they had instant replay, where like if you got close to the bag, they called you out, and that's kind of how it is. Like a defender got close, then they would blow the whistle, and then call play dead. And it was like a weird dynamic. So I wouldn't be opposed to them like still wearing their pads and everything, and then maybe just like playing like an actual like almost like flag football game or something, and like just being more like a pickup game where everyone can just like rotate in and out.
See, the officiating style you're talking about right there, that is younger sibling style officiating, where if you even get close to hitting them, they're stopping the play. They're calling the foul. Yeah, the older siblings, we're letting contact slide. We're in favor of it because we're the bigger, more physical specimens. The younger siblings.
I was not in favor of the officiating. I was just saying that's how it was officiated. I was in favor of the like
Micah, you're an older sibling.
I don't think flag at all.
Huh?
Have you heard of the American Flag Football League?
I may have heard of it. If I have, I don't know anything about it.
So it's not set up to be a competitor to the NFL at all, but it's really cool. They are using a lot more technology, where using like radio, not assisted, but radio built-in flags. So as soon as a flag is pulled, it pings, and exactly. And there's RFID chips and stuff. You know exactly where they're down at. And they're using like this buzzer on the field, so you only have 3 seconds to throw the ball, or 4 seconds or something. But I was thinking, if they're going to play like that, you might as well do a flag football game, and that way they can go all out. And
that's what it really looked like to me. It was basically a flag football game, and like I said, but it was fun from the standpoint of, like I said, the offensive players playing defense, defensive players playing offense. And so it was like, it was pretty creative. I also find it interesting, though, that Jason Garrett has the, half of the best players in the NFL and manages to put up 7 points and doesn't score those 7 points until he gets like 3 defensive pass interference calls on one drive, and then ends up, scoring a touchdown with like 5 minutes left, or whenever he scored the last touchdown that he scored. So clearly offensive genius. Jason Garrett was, struggling.
Right.
Where do they get funding for the flag football with the microchips? Like, that doesn't sound cheap. Is there some sort of revenue that they generate?
Yeah, so I think there were a couple things. They have, I can't remember the name of the guy that started it, but they have a couple NFL guys, I think, that were investors in it. And they also, I'm surprised you haven't seen it. They had guys like Michael Vick, Ocho Cinco, some other big name NFL guys of the recent past, playing like quarterback and being the superstars on the team. And so they have these guys kind of roped in. It's, Michael Vick can still sling the ball. And so they have those guys playing on the field. So it's a good draw for crowds and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it was just investors, a few of which are NFL players. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Tomorrow.
What's that?
So I'll have to look that up tomorrow to support Caleb's livelihood. And Google that.
Right.
Oh,
I know I'm bouncing around a little bit, but I'm not going to take forever. This is just something I like talking about. The area or question of like social media being used to promote churches. And I know this isn't necessarily you guys' forte or something you want to talk lots about, but I was curious for your thoughts on how you feel like Baptist churches use social media are as a percentage, 100% being spectrum for most Baptist churches. Would you start?
On social media, because like you can create events through Facebook and like invite people, and like it'd be kind of a cool thing to do if like you have a lot of people on like a Sunday school roster and like you're creating events, and like you're able to like reach out to a lot of people on that roster where like you might not swing by the house and find them home, or they might have moved or something like that, but you can always put the invite out there on social media, and you know they might see it and not respond to it, but at least you're getting eyeballs there. And I think it's something that a lot of I think you guys put your services on Facebook Live and
We do, yeah.
So I think that's kind of a missed opportunity. You know, it's I think that churches are starting to catch on a little bit more, and we're starting to see it utilized more. And but I think there's a lot more that can be happening there.
Yeah, and it cut out for me for a second. Caleb, did you say anything about that?
No, I don't have a ton of experience on like seeing other people's accounts. One thing is just, you know, if you're going to have an account, just try to keep it up to date. I don't, I mean, even though I like having content all the time, but occasionally, you know, if we're traveling for work or something like that, I'll look up a church or try to find a church in the area, or if I'm on vacation or whatever, you know, I'll look up, and either this isn't social media, but like, you know, the websites, you know, whatever, it's, you know, the page can't be found or whatever because they haven't updated their website, or the website expired or this or that. You know, and Facebook's free, so you don't have to pay for that. But if you go on a church's Facebook page and the last post was in 2016, it's like, okay, is this church still in existence, or they not have any, a teenager in the church that knows how to use Facebook that they can ask to just post something once, you know, whatever, just so people know you're still there. Just like that. Like I said, I don't really check very many people's, or at least churches' social media accounts and stuff. But Ethan had a bunch of good points, you know, about just using invites and events and all that other stuff. But like, at like a minimum, just to show that you're still present. You know, just Mother's Day Sunday, look forward to seeing you, or
right.
Want to wish everyone a happy Resurrection Sunday this week. Like, I mean, just simple things. But
yeah, and I think this is a little hobby horse of mine, because over the last month 2 months, our church has really started to dive into it, and we had a total of, now we run I don't know, 100 and something, a little over 100 on a normal Sunday morning. So a mid-size average church for America, probably. Basically on the back of spending less than $100 on social media advertising, most of that on Facebook, we had 350 people come on December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. And so obviously that's a big chunk of people. But more impressive than that, and God knows the hearts, but we had 60 professions for salvation, which is just awesome on that day. Yesterday, today's Monday, so Sunday, we kind of had like a New Year Jubilee. You guys would know Lou DiFilippo, evangelist, preached for us. And again, on the back of social media advertising, the ad did not start running until Thursday morning before Sunday. We had 25 total visitors, probably 18 of which were brand new first time, and 2 people saved. They would not, all of them came because of social media. And we spent probably $10 on advertising for that. So I feel like it's one of those things, and I am all about soul winning. We did that on Saturday as well. But I feel like we're leaving so much on the table by not doing social media and stuff, especially since it's so easy and so cheap. There's going to come a time when the big boys like Verizon and BMW and, all these big companies realize that all the money they're spending on television is useless for the most part, and they're going to sink it into Facebook, Instagram, YouTube ads, and the price is going to go up. Capitalism is going to happen. Supply and demand is going to happen, and the smaller players like churches are going to be squeezed out. But we can squeeze everything we can out now. But so many churches forget being blind to it. They don't want to see. They just I have no interest in it. And so, honestly, one of the biggest things I hope to do through what we're doing right now is wake some people up. For instance, the power of social media now. Right now, it says we only have 3 active people watching on Facebook. That's just Facebook. But just to count the amount of people that have joined: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 different people in the last less than 30 minutes have seen us fools talking about sports and stuff.
I mean, 16 of them are dead to me.
What's that?
That means 16 of them are dead to me.
So, that's true. Yeah. I want to know if Nate Miller is still around, because we'll go back to trash on the Rams if we need to. But it's 11 o'clock, 10:58 Eastern time, and people are on these right here, and so it's like you're leaving so much on the table. But that's just kind of my personal hobby horse, and that will definitely come out as we go along. You gonna say something, Ethan?
Yeah, I think you have a great point there. It's a great outlet and a cheap outlet to buy ad space on, and it's something that you can put content from your church on. I noticed recently, like North Valley posts, like on Instagram, I've seen a few different posts where they'll post like just little like excerpts of some of the special music, and that can be something that can encourage people to like really make sure that and not that people aren't trying to ensure that the specials are high quality already, but just like maybe that next level, we all take extra care. We know like there are going to be extra eyes on us, and I just like it's a great way to kind of show off different aspects of your ministry. You can put pictures of your teachers in their classrooms, and you can get some of like those like the visual cues that they use, and just like really kind of generate excitement over your ministry. So like outside people, when they're looking at it, they see that it's not, it's not kids just like coming in and like just sitting in their chairs with their hands folded in their laps, just like sitting there bored for 2 hours, for like your Sunday schools and stuff like that. Like things are happening. Like
right.
People are having a good time. There's good fellowship. Like our services are alive, hopefully.
Right. Sometimes we wish our kids in our Sunday school class would sit there with their hands folded in their laps for 2 hours bored. I might take that on a Sunday or two.
Yeah, that's why this summer I'm gonna bring in some popsicles made out of NyQuil. I'm gonna have some docile kids at least a couple times this summer.
I think that would be a good. You should run that by Brother Reimers or Brother Flood. He does like buses, right? You have like a NyQuil Sunday. I think I help with the buses here, and I think that would be excellent.
We call it Redemption Draweth NyQuil.
That's funny. So, we won't be too much longer. I appreciate those that have stuck around for just a few minutes. Still sitting right at 3 on Facebook, and had 4 or 5 other people that said they showed up. So it must have been so boring that they left. But who are some people that you guys would be interested to see long form conversations with on a platform like this?
Let's start small with George W. Bush.
W.
Then after once Brady's done with the Super Bowl run, maybe we can get some run there.
Yeah, Brady and Belichick would definitely be a great.
I think Brother Boroff is going to be an incredible conversation if you're able to set aside some time to talk to him. I mean, we all were in school for to have him as an instructor and just to kind of talk to him as a man. He's just such an interesting guy, and he's just like he's so eloquent and just a great resource. I'd love to hear a conversation there. I think we have a lot of people we know from football camp. I think Brother Grimaldi would. I'm sure he's got some rants on everything.
Oh, somebody said that. No, in all seriousness, I have a list already started of people that I'd like to see. I'll list out a few, and I haven't asked any of them yet. So this was kind of a proof of concept. Let me see here. I'd love to, and I think I talked to Caleb about this. I'd like to have a guy like Jim Carey from North Valley there running a junior church. I mean, how many years has he been doing junior church?
40 years, something like that.
40 years. Right. The amount of stuff, the amount of people that run junior churches and do a less than amazing job. Churches across America that could learn so much from a guy that's been doing it for 40 years and still enjoying it is huge. Obviously, you mentioned I'd love to go Brother Boroff about song leading. Another thing I'm fed up with is this trend towards needing bigger, louder, more people on the platform to lead singing, stuff like that. I understand methods, and I have no problem with methods. I'm using social media and live streaming to talk to you right now. So obviously I don't have a problem with methods. Anyway, I'd like to talk to him about it. A guy like Mike Hall, vice president at Providence Baptist College. A guy like Terry Angel, who's probably preached more teen camps than just about anybody in America. You mentioned Pastor Grimaldi. There's a guy around here. His name is Richard McMillan. He does finances for churches and things like that. Be a cool conversation. Some guys over maybe like Lighthouse Legal. They do church legal stuff. Ted Houston. I'd like to just talk to him for 3 hours about prayer. If you don't know Evangelist Ted Houston, he's actually just restarted, I think, chemotherapy. He has some pretty serious cancer. And that's going to segue into the last segment here. Just a couple of prayer requests I'd like to bring to you. But you might know Tim Booth, Ethan. He's an evangelist. Oliver Reza, Dan Martin, Dan Woodward, my father-in-law, Todd Monaghan, talk MMA and talk that kind of stuff. All kinds of different people. I have probably 30 more names here. But a lot of guys I'd like to talk to who know way more than I do. And I know that I've been blessed in talking to those type of people. And I'd love to have an on-the-record conversation with them. We love sports. We enjoy talking it. But we love God too. And we'd love to talk more about him, about the ministry, and talk about our real life's calling, being Christians. And so that's kind of thought. And that segues into, I mentioned about Houston, a lot of folks with some serious prayer requests. I mentioned about Houston, Janelle Gaither. Well, I don't even know her married name. Do you know Janelle's married name now?
I think it's Lopez.
Lopez and Mauricio, I think, is her husband. Anyway, her dad is in pretty serious condition. Made the slightest upturn this past 24 hours or so. So if you'd pray for Janelle, maiden name Gaither's dad, pray for my wife if you would. Had the chance, and this is just not get off my chest, but had the chance to over the last 48 hours. On Friday and Saturday, I obviously spent way more time in hospital than I'd ever want to over these past couple of weeks and months, but made a couple of hospital visits on Friday, I believe. Visited a young man from our church named Josh who has Crohn's disease and had a surgery, and praise God, he's home now. But seeing the pain that he was in and all the different type of things. And then because of social media and an ad that we ran, I got to visit with someone contacted us, Facebook messaged our church, and asked if I could come and pray with them at the NICU in the local hospital here. And so got to spend about 45 minutes with a couple and their 2.5 pound, 31-week-old little baby and pray with them, give them the gospel. They had good testimonies of salvation. And that's a testament, again, to social media working. I have no idea who these people were, and they messaged the Facebook page because of an ad we ran. But the realization, and in talking to my wife, there are so many people that have it worse than you. And my wife hasn't, and I haven't either, I'll be honest, but we haven't gotten down in the circumstance. My wife's, there was no chance of, fatality or anything like that. Or obviously when you're being operated on, there's always chances of bad things happening. But, she's still mobile. She can still, love and hug our babies and all that stuff. And so we never consider this the worst thing in the world. But going for the radiation planning, where they kind of map out where the tumor's at, and this one really hit home. There is in this room, there is a paper on the wall that said Adeline's Countdown. And it had this sheet of paper with 1 through 20 on it. It had stickers on the different numbers. And only 1 through 10 were marked off. It means 11 through 20 were still there. And it was colored and stuff. You could tell it was a little girl. And it was her radiation countdown. How many more episodes or of radiation this little girl had. And so we asked the nurse, who's Adeline? And found out it's a 3-year-old little girl who has a cancer and is doing radiation for it. And the things you don't think about for little kids, when you're using radiation, very targeted radiation, they have to stay very still. And little kids don't stay still, by themselves. And so these little kids have to be put to sleep every time they come in for radiation. And the nurse telling us that every time Adeline sees the nurses, she starts screaming, even though all they're trying to do is help her, because that's a place that pokes me and hurts me. It makes me feel bad. It makes me get sick. And that was a real gut check about the situation my wife has and the situation my family has, that there's someone hurting more than you. And if nobody gets anything out of anything we've done for the past 45 minutes than this, let me just say, if you're not praying for someone else every day, then why would you ever expect to get your prayers answered? Bury you one another's burdens. And so I had to get that one off my chest because it really hit home with me, the necessity to lift one another up in prayer. And so there's multiple people that I've been reinvigorated in praying for every day. And so I'd ask that you would pray for my wife. But if you have a prayer request that I can pray for you about, please let me know. Please let us know. Comment or message me privately. I'd love to hear from you. We've started using our church's prayer chain, a text alert thing, and all that more. And so all that to say, I appreciate everyone that's listened in for a few minutes. It's 11 o'clock Eastern time. What is it? 8 o'clock Pacific. But I appreciate it. We might come back with another one, I think, leading up to the Super Bowl. Caleb, Ethan, we might need one either pre or post. We can talk, or we could even do a Super Bowl companion. You know what? Tony Romo was broadcasting, and I want to listen to Tony Romo. So
not all of us live on the East Coast and get out of church and then go straight home to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, some of us have to hide our phones in our songbook over Just kidding. I would never do that.
So we are doubly blessed because we would not normally be able to watch because I think kickoff is at 6:30 or something this year. Maybe some. At First Baptist Church of Kenmore, speaking of methods being different, we have an afternoon service. We walk out the door. I am in my car. I am home no later than about 3:30. Absolutely, it's 4 o'clock if things go, really late or something. And so I will watch the full. I'll live tweet you guys or send you text messages and make sure you guys are abreast of what's going on, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
we will be.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be. So I do the Sunday night security at North Valley, so occasionally I have to do situational checks to make sure that everything is squared away, and sometimes those involve checking phones. So we have it pretty good. Yeah, I will be once again. I saw Ethan was giving lots of plugs for Facebook events and Facebook advertising. It's almost like he has a vested stake in the company or something. But
spend money on Facebook, please. Buy lots of ads. Please tell your friends to get a profile.
They try to
please
downsize your division.
I'll give once again another plug for YouTube TV. I'll be DVRing the Super Bowl, so I can go back and watch it in entirety, and not just the condensed version, but we'll get all the Super Bowl commercials as well.
If you have YouTube TV, why not support both platforms and go Facebook Live on your phone while watching YouTube TV?
Not just a little bit, but overall, we're different platforms, so you can do plenty of support on Facebook and Google.
Yeah, there's enough money to go around here,
Yeah, especially
yeah.
No red checks.
Awesome. Well, hey guys, I appreciate it. You guys have been a blessing, helping me out on this first, maybe last. We'll see. If anyone would like to see, if those of you watching tomorrow, hopefully the wiser of you on the East Coast have already gone to sleep. If you see this in the morning and watch all the way to the end, where I'm saying this right now, if there's somebody you'd like to see be interviewed in a format like this, let me know. I would be very curious to know. And there's a lot of people that know way more about the Bible, way more about church than me. And so I'd love to talk to them. And so any last words for Caleb, anything? I'm
gonna throw this out there. Like, people probably don't care that much about our opinions, but if you just want to hear us shoot the breeze on something, like some topics, and we will form opinions on it. Unless it's about
golf. He has golf opinions. Soccer, soccer is going to be basically a no-go overall. I mean, if the World Cup's around, I watched half of a game, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, soccer's basically no go.
I remember who Tim Howard is from the one year that the U.S. looked like they might be kind of good and they weren't.
Yeah. Isn't that every year except for the women's team?
No, typically they don't even pretend to be good. Typically,
last year we didn't make their qualifier.
So I was speaking of, and we'll talk about this another time, but it kind of annoys me, even though soccer is, this somewhat effeminate sport. It annoys me that America is not better at it. We should be the best at everything. I don't care what it is. We should kill everyone at it.
I have two sides on that. I sleep perfectly well not knowing that the U.S. is terrible at soccer. But I do understand what you're saying because it is fun to be the best. But
we're the best at everything else.
Yeah.
All those guys who would be playing soccer, they're cornerbacks.
And basketball and point guards. Imagine if instead of Steph Curry shooting 1 million 3-pointers every day, he was kicking soccer balls. I mean, the guy is probably twice the size of Lionel Messi, and Steph Curry's tiny, but he still probably beat him up. And imagine if he uses accuracy and fine motor skills to be juggling soccer balls and stuff. Well,
soccer players make great money, and soccer, it's all sports, is challenging. It takes, of course, it takes practice, and you're not going to put down the dedication and work ethic that these guys put into being the best. But football looks cool. Soccer, you're you're running around and you're falling all over each other on purpose, and so that you can win a game 1-0. If you even have a winner, you can have I guess you can have a tie in football too.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Maybe we should. I don't know if that should be a thing anymore. Can we
abolish college football? Can't have ties. Though.
Yeah, can we abolish ties in the NFL? This is the national is the national of America. We don't do ties here. We didn't tie the Revolutionary War. Vietnam, a little bit.
I did see earlier today. Don't let this distract you. Instagram comment. Don't let this distract you from the fact that Britain blew a 13-0 colony lead.
Yeah, I see that one lately too.
I thought that was good.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a certain type of bird. 8-3 lead a couple of years ago. Good memories. But anyway, I think we could talk soccer by almost not talking soccer.
Yeah, we could talk soccer, but would it be anyone who would suggest us talking soccer would not be happy with the way we would talk soccer?
Yeah, I know Leo Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, and even those guys are starting to get old. So in like 3 years, I'm gonna have nothing to talk about with soccer.
Right.
I know the name Neymar.
Man, Neymar is retired, I'm sure.
And Donovan.
And Donovan's also retired.
He's still creaking around, trying to play soccer poorly.
Yeah, I think the first name that comes to mind, it's funny, I'm not even old, but like David Beckham is the first name that comes to mind, and he's been retired for years now.
He's doing his thing, though. He's
fragrances.
He's doing all right for himself.
Yeah, he's doing all right. So anyway, if you have anything you'd like to hear us talk about, or if you'd rather us never talk again, comment that as well. We appreciate that. We will be as deaf to the criticism as we are to the praise, and though I don't expect much praise to be forthcoming, but anyway, we'll go from there.
I expect a lot of praise. These are high quality opinions that you're getting from high quality people. And speaking of high quality people, Caleb and I are both single. If you have any new lady friends who are between the ages of 21-ish and 30-ish, bring them through Micah, and then Micah will send the approved selections to us.
Yeah, I will go through and it almost like that's a great different app where instead of like Tinder where you are swiping, you have an approved friend who swipes for you, so you don't let.
That's a bad plan.
Why?
Lots of prank options going on.
That would probably work. That would probably work really well for girls.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that would be the main demographic.
Yeah.
Well, if you're like a your sister or something on that account,
it could be like just for girls. Like it could be you call it like Stud Ranch or something like that. Like something.
But like I said, it would work with guys, but the guy would have to be smart and having like a close girlfriend set up, because if I was managing your account, I would just troll you and just like send people I knew you didn't want. And but if your mom was checking the account or something, she might have a little more.
Okay, so I've got to pull this one out. I'll get the music set up better.
Yes, Baptist.
Yeah, Christian Mingle 2.0.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you ever heard of the song "She's Too Fat for Me"?
No, I haven't.
It's a polka, I guess. For some reason, my mother-in-law is with us helping out for the last couple of days, and she came weeks ago to help out again before, and somehow she started singing this song or something. Not to tell my mother-in-law, but this song, she's too fat for me, you can have her, or something, like a guy saying, I'm not going to date her, she's too big for me. So I think I'm going to play us out with that song, if you guys don't mind. And any final words again before we play it out with this gem from 1947?
Just unanimous 3-0 go Pats.
What's that?
It's unanimous,
Yeah.
3-0. Go Pats.
This is a Pats echo chamber here. Sorry, y'all. I know that's not popular, but it's just
get over it.
It just be like that sometimes.
I'm not going to date her.
Right. Let me see here. I'm trying to play this.
I think I'm going to play us out with that song.
You look like you're playing yourself right now.
Yeah, I'm playing myself in the. I really want to get the song in here, so give me 1 second. I'll make sure the music isn't playing here. There we go. I think that was an issue. There we go. You guys got to listen to this.
Okay.
Let's see here. It doesn't start till the chorus.
Silly jingle, you can sing it night or noon. Here's the words, that's all you need, 'cause I just sang the tune. Oh, I don't want her, you can have her, she's too fat for me. She's too fat for me. She's too fat for me. I don't want her, you can have her, she's too fat for me. She's too fat, she's too fat, she's too fat for me. I get dizzy. I get
Isn't that great?
when I'm dancing with my jumbo. I don't want to.
All right. Well, on that incredibly high note.
Podcast.
What's that?
That could be like a beta name for this podcast.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, we are with you with Pastor Jack Treber on "She's Too Fat for Me." Guest. Yeah, I'm thinking he might decline that offer, but we'll see. All right, well, guys, thank you so much. We will throw the title up here, and we'll play us out. Appreciate you guys being with us. Stick around if you just sang it on the group chat, and we'll talk to you if you just sang it. Thanks so much for